In this video, I discuss how to increase your credit score quickly using 5 different strategies here in the UK. I also take you through how the credit score actually works and what lenders are looking at when you make a new application for credit. So improving your credit score, first things first, you need to check your score. So how do you actually do this? I use the credit reference agency Experian, and I've been using them for many years. So if you find them on Google, just click on Experian and then you can actually get a free score. And usually they do a free trial as well, either for 14 days or 30 days. This actually gives you information on your credit report, so you know exactly which credit accounts you have. Now, what constitutes a credit account? This could be a credit card, this could be a personal loan, this could be a mortgage, and this could even be, for example, an overdraft on your current account. These are all, technically speaking, credit accounts. So these are what's being monitored and what contribute to your Experian credit score. And the reason you should use Experian is because the vast majority of UK lenders actually use their scoring when they're approving your applications or appraising it. Okay, so once you've got your score, what does it look like? Well, you'll get a score out of 999. And if you're in the top 2 categories, either excellent or good, then the chances of you getting through with a credit application is very good. Now, if you get a score of fair or below, the chances are very limited. With a score that's fair, you may get approved by what I regard as a secondary lender, so you won't get a very competitive rate. For example, with excellent, you can apply with Tesco, Sainsbury's Bank, etc. and get rates as low as 3.8%, because at the moment we're in a very low interest rate environment here in the UK and actually worldwide. Now, if your score is very poor, my strong advice to you is don't even do an application. Get your credit score sorted first, and some of the strategies here in this video you'll find very helpful. So the next step is to download your credit report, or you can view it online on Experian, and that's what I find easier. And you want to look through all of your credit accounts. So first of all, so that you're aware of exactly what you're lending on, whether it be an overdraft or a credit card. And you want to look through all of your recent searches. The ones you want to concentrate on are the ones in the last 6 months. Experian will tell you if any of these searches were hard searches, which means it negatively impacts your score, or soft searches. For example, when we renew our car insurance, there's lots of soft searches on our account. They don't actually affect the score, so we're not bothered by that. But if there are 1 or 2 hard searches in the last 6 months, that will have a negative impact. So my advice there would be actually stop and wait for the 6 months to pass before you make a new application. The other advice to you is, if you didn't make that search or you weren't sure it was a hard search, don't hesitate to contact that company and ask for that search to be removed from your credit report. Many times they could actually do that for you if there's a genuine reason. My next piece of advice to you, often overlooked, is you have to check your personal details. So you have to check your address, your name is correct. Are you on the electoral roll at your current address? It doesn't matter if you're living yourself, with your partner, or even living with your family or your parents. You should still be, if you're over 16, you should be on the electoral roll. And if it's not registered on the credit report, then there's an issue there, and that will have a negative impact. You can easily boost your score by 50 to 100 points just by making sure all of these personal details and everything is correct. So please make sure as soon as you get your credit report that you check that first. The next piece of advice for you, are there any late payments at all on your account? Have a look through. Again, it shows up on the credit report, especially in the last 6 to 12 months, because they will negatively impact. Find out what that payment was. See if you can remember why it happened, but don't even worry about the reason. What's more important is the strategy in terms of getting it removed. You can, again, actually contact the lender to see if this is an option. For example, if it was, let's say, a Halifax credit card and you missed one payment for whatever reason, you can contact Halifax and ask for it to be removed. And you can cite various reasons. For example, they should give you the opportunity, even usually 30 days after, to actually make that payment before it's a black mark against your credit accounts. Or you can even contact Experian. You can go into the help section and you can actually request this be potentially removed from your credit report. You can say it's an inaccuracy, and a lot of the times they will contact the lender on your behalf, or they will advise you to do so accordingly. And also, it goes without saying, if you're planning to do a big application at some point in the next few months, you want to make sure there's no late payments. And if there was one that you can't remove from your account, let's say it was 4 months ago, if you wait just over 2 months, you'll see your scores updated, because after 6 months, that late payment counts a lot less towards your credit score. So that will be the optimal time to actually do the application. The next point, again, a lot of people just aren't aware of this. Having credit not in use actually increases your score, because as part of the credit report, what they're checking is your use of revolving credit. And revolving can include credit cards, which are available to use anytime, your overdrafts, which are also available to use anytime. And if you've got a £4,000 overdraft and you are not using it at all, then that's 4,000 worth of credit available to you. And that looks good for lenders, because well, the main reason is if you're applying for a loan, they know it's very unlikely you're going to miss a payment if you've got access to 4,000 in overdraft. And there are certain tricks you can use in terms of actually improving that percentage that you're using. But to lay it out to you basically, let's say a friend gives you 10,000 for a short period of time, a few weeks, and you flush that into all of your accounts, you're suddenly going to be using a lot less of your credit. And then once you've done your application, you can return that money back to your friend. This is just an example of a strategy you could use to try and game the system. But that's what lenders actually want to see. They want to see less use of your revolving credit. So that would be a technique where you temporarily reduce this to improve your score, do the application, and then not really care so much afterwards. Because the goal and the objective is always, if you're doing a credit application for whatever reason, you want to make sure you get the best lender at the best interest rate as well, and on the best terms. And you will only get that, unfortunately, if you have a better credit score. That's just how society works. It's not fair. The people who need the money probably the most get the worst interest rates and terms. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to click the like button. If you have any questions at all about credit scores, especially here in the UK and Europe, please don't hesitate to ask. I've been monitoring my credit for many years, about 10 or 15 years now, and I know pretty much every trick there is. I can very quickly get a large amount of financing or credit if I needed it. And the key here is obviously to use it appropriately. If you're using it to consolidate debt or you're using it to help grow your business, that's completely appropriate. If you're just going to take it out and then go on a spending spree the next day, then that's not a very good use of this facility. Next piece of advice to you, if you're actually doing this, is you need to optimize in terms of the time you're actually making the application. So you need to understand exactly when your various lenders are actually getting updated, because the best way to do it in my experience is, because there's a lag in terms of when you make a hard application, the various credit reference agencies aren't aware of this for a while afterwards, and this can go from days all the way on to weeks. So if you're doing it and you really need to get that credit sorted and your score is optimal, you want to do more than one application at the same time, preferably 2 with lenders where you think you've got a good chance of getting through. That way you do that, you increase your chances, because the problem is once you do one application, if you left it then a week or 2, that's marked on your account and your score drops. So then your chance with the other lender reduces. So you don't want that to happen, because then likelihood is you're not going to get through with anything. You want to always maximize your chances. Again, if you're looking to use credit appropriately, of course. My final bit of advice for you is understanding the lag in most cases. So for example, let's say you cleared your overdraft for 4,000 today. That's only going to show on your credit report in about 4 to 6 weeks. The other strange thing is that even if you cleared it today, Halifax might check your account next week. But then the week after, you could be fully 4,000 overdrawn. That's not going to reflect on your credit report. Your credit report is going to show as you're not using any of that 4,000. That's how it works. So if you're very careful and you actually go through exactly every month when lenders are updating your account, you can move money around, because we all have online internet banking now, and play around with the system. And just by doing this alone, you can easily, again, improve your score by 100, 150 points or more. Again, if your goal is to use the credit appropriately, you want to maximize your score, which is perfectly reasonable. You want to maximize your score so you get the cheapest credit in terms of interest rate. I've got many more strategies to help you improve your credit score. For those of you who are interested, please comment below and I'm more than happy to do a video about it and go into it in a lot more depth. As an entrepreneur and as a business owner, it's essential to understand these elements, because if you have a business model that's working and is creating a return on investment for you, if you can get credit that's 3% interest and you pump it into that machine, but you're doubling your money on it, then you're using that credit very wisely and you're paying it off in a timely manner, and it's helping you scale your business. All of the big businesses in this world, they were built, a lot of it, on top of loans and credit. The difference was the terms were very attractive and they used the credit appropriately. So thanks very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the content. I look forward to speaking to you all again in the next video.